Good morning, everyone. How is everyone today? Welcome to the Level 1 podcast. I have to remember to keep turning on this sign because yesterday on my late stream I didn't have it on. How is everyone today? Welcome, welcome, welcome. It is Tuesday the 6th of February 2024. I'm DSP, of course, and a full day of gameplay streaming scheduled here on DSPGaming, which I'm very excited for. The return of Baldur's Gate 3, which I know a lot of you are excited for. Good stuff all around. We've got a little bit of an update regarding the big controversial topic from yesterday. For those who don't remember the whole Xbox debacle, we will be following up on that because there is an update on it. Although it's nothing definitive, it is very interesting. And, of course, even more rampant speculation. Of course, I have updates on all of my ongoing playthroughs going on right now. And just overall, more chill vibes again today. Nothing too crazy going on. Nothing that we have to freak out about. You know, I'm currently prepping and gearing up for Saturday's Super Bowl Bash event here on DSP Gaming, where we're going to be doing all kinds of fun gameplay all day long, balanced with some fun with booze and food and NFL-themed stuff, right? So, good stuff coming. First of all, I hope you're all doing well. We are almost done with my streaming week. It's been a good week. Great progress in all these games that I'm playing that I needed to essentially make progress in. Particularly Like a Dragon, we're moving smoothly, which is a good thing. If the pacing keeps up, we might hit the kind of milestones that I'm looking to hit over the course of the week, which we'll talk about in a second. Tekken, I'm actually really liking the more that I play it. But basically, we have to talk about it today a little bit. All right? And I'm curious what you guys think about it, because I feel like now we're in a situation where it's not me that's the determining factor about this game, like it has been with previous fighting games. We'll talk a little bit about that. So where to start, right? Where to begin? Let's think about this. I think we should start at the beginning, which means let's talk about yesterday's stuff and an update on all of that before we roll into the schedule for the rest of the week, and then we talk about the whole Xbox thing. Okay? So, yesterday was a fun day. We had a chill podcast. We talked about the whole Xbox thing where the rumor is that Microsoft is going to take all of their Xbox exclusives and start porting them to other consoles, namely PS5, which caused all this controversy and debate among the gaming community. We shall hit a follow-up about that later on the show. And we also did a little bit of the suggestion box. Although, you know, here's the deal. Back in September, the idea was, hey, here's a thread on the community tab at DSP Gaming. Everyone post up your suggestions. And people did for September and October. And for as much as we could, we addressed those suggestions within about a month to 2 months. But the thing was, we got so busy with new games and other game news and things going on during the holiday season that we didn't really get to address the suggestion box that much. So now every once in a while people bring it up. Hey, you're going to do some suggestion box stuff? And I'm like, maybe if we get to it. And it's not really a real concern for me. And then, you know, for example, yesterday, when I was doing this show, people were like, hey, will you do the suggestion box? I'm like, if you really want me to. So I opened it up, and I literally answered 4 suggestions in a row that pretty much were all outdated. Like, seriously, like, some of the suggestions were things that have already been implemented or done, right? And it's like, so basically, these suggestions are already, you know, behind, and therefore it's kind of not valid, right? Like, that's how I felt trying to answer those. Like, and this is kind of why I didn't kept going back to the suggestion box, because it always felt like it was a little bit outdated. And now, case in point, I really think it is. So, listen, I'm not against every once in a while going back to it again to check it out, but I feel like if people have suggestions or if people have things that they want to bring up, they'll bring it up. You know, we do a Q&A segment almost every day on the show, and usually that's a good opportunity for people to do that, right? So, listen, if you really want to see suggestion box stuff, let me know, but I'm kind of like on the fence about bringing it back, only because, I mean, take a case in point. We did it for like 15 minutes, 20 minutes yesterday, and almost every question didn't really apply to what we were doing. By the way, it's bothering me. Again, I seem to have I'm not centered on camera, and I'm wondering why. Like, should I physically move myself, or should I turn the camera? Like, it looks like that's a little better, but even then, I'm still not centered, right? Like, it looks like I'm still off. This is me perfectly leaning back in the chair, lined up with the camera, and it looks like I'm still slightly to the right. Like, no matter what I do, I'm not centered in this setup. How about now? I'm still, whatever. I'm just going to leave it like that. Okay, so, anyway. So yesterday, we had a good podcast, and then we jumped into the first stream, which was Tekken 8. Now, originally, the idea for Tekken 8 was that I was going to learn a new character, but in order for me to learn a new character in a fighting game, it's not as simple as pick the character, go into training mode, play for 20 minutes, and jump online. That's not how it works, all right? In a fighting game, if you're actually trying to learn and be good and play well, you need to study. And what that would entail is me going online on YouTube, finding tutorial videos, watching things like basic strategies, basic combos, basic punishes, right? Things like that. Then watching some matchups to see how people implemented that character. That's literally how I learned Street Fighter 6. That's why I was able in Street Fighter 6 to basically get as good as I did and get multiple characters to master level. That was the only reason. And previously, I never really studied fighting games. It was always hands-on learning. But today, because I'm a full-time streamer, people don't really enjoy the hands-on learning. They want to see me start playing and kind of know what I'm doing right from the get-go. So, the idea was I was going to use a new character, but what happened was, Sunday, I was here in this office, extra overtime working all day long on React content. We had the React show on DSP Reacts. We had the Dark Souls React stream on DSP Throwback. And I had a private patron video of over an hour length to make. So once all that was done, I was like, dude, I am so burnt out that I can't be watching Tekken videos all night to try to learn a new character. So I said, I'm not going to do it. And then originally what the plan then was that I was going to probably pick 1 hour of each of the characters who I've used in Tekken. So 1 hour of Paul, 1 hour of King, 1 hour of June, and do like an hour each in this multiplayer session yesterday. But that didn't work out that way either, and here's why. When I started using Paul, I realized, oh crap, my Paul is way under level. And what I mean by that is, even though there is a general point total that you maintain in Tekken when you play online, each character has to still go through individual ranks. So I was kind of mistaken when I originally criticized Tekken 8 and says, oh, the ranking system is not like Street Fighter 6 because the characters are all grouped together. That's not true. In general, if you do really well with one character and you level them up, it will bring all your other characters up along with them. But actually not by that much, because I would say right now my June is my highest ranked character. But even then, when I went to use Paul yesterday, he was still way down at the bottom, like maybe in like the blue or maybe early green leagues, as opposed to, you know, I had to go through the yellow, the orange, the red to get to the better challengers. So I was like, oh, well, truth be told, you know, I'm way ranked low here with Paul. The whole first hour of me playing was essentially me spanking people who were nearly as good as me and didn't really know how to play the game that well. They didn't know his mix-ups. They didn't know how to stop anything he did. So because of that, it was just like a non-stop barrage of me whooping people. And after that first hour, people were like, wow, like, even though it's satisfying seeing you win like that, we definitely want to see you have some challenge, so just keep playing with Paul. So I did, and in fact, the thing that was suggested to me was, why don't you make a custom outfit for him quickly, just like you did with June? That way it's not just the default Paul that we're staring at. So I did. I made an absolute silly outfit for Paul that we used. So we had like a stupid, like a Hawaiian-style shirt, but it was like skulls, and he had a guitar on his back. You know, it looked really silly. And I proceeded to keep playing, and overall, I won twice as much as I lost, which is pretty darn good. Now, for clarification purposes, no, I didn't get to as high of a rank with Paul as I did with June. So when I'm playing with June Kazama, I'm fighting better players, and that's why I'm breaking even when I play with her. When I'm playing with Paul, I am getting there, and there were some losses. Like, I would say Dragunov right now is a tricky character for me because he has a lot of fast, safe moves that I'm not sure really how to read and or counter. I mean, he's got a launcher where he just is uppercut, and it's like a full screen range, and it freaking goes through everything, and it's instant. And I'm like, so he hits me with that, he gets a free, like, 50% combo, and it's so fast and so much better than launchers of other characters. I'm like, damn, that's a huge advantage for him. Also, his heat smash is crazy fast and does giant chunks of damage, so it's like, it's character knowledge for me at this point. I'm facing certain characters that I've never seen before, or I don't really know what they're capable of, and then they just abuse stuff. I'm like, damn, I just got completely baited by this like 4 times in a row because I didn't realize the character had that. That's something that'll come in time. As I play more Tekken, I'll learn, okay? So anyway, I ended up playing the entire stream with Paul Phoenix, which originally wasn't the plan. I won twice as much as I lost. I think I won like 40 wins and lost like 20 times or something like that. But I made great gains, you know, leveled him up pretty high. If I play with him again now, I should be at a level where I'm going to be fighting good comp, okay? So that's a great thing. But I definitely noticed something, and you guys are going to probably notice it too, especially if you're those who watch videos on demand as opposed to the live streams. I can now definitively tell all of you, I am not getting nearly as much. I mean, I'm getting like a fraction of the views and attention on Tekken as I did on Street Fighter 6. Case in point, those videos with Paul, which is good gameplay. It's me kicking butt with Paul, getting big combos, learning strategies, mix-ups, doing good stuff, and getting progressively better. It's good gameplay. You know, it is. It's my journey with Paul to get better. Those videos in 24 hours don't even have 300 views each. You know? And I know that's a weird arbitrary number, but for me, over the years on YouTube, like, for any new game or something, you should look to aim at least to get 300 views. You know, within the first 12 hours, if you don't get 300 views within 24 hours, it essentially means there's not a lot of interest, right? And that's fine if you're balancing it with other stuff, but this is a brand new fighting game. It's only been out a week and a half, all right? When I was playing Street Fighter 6, right, and I was playing it and leveling up and stuff, there was 2 to 3 times as much interest as this. We had more people on the streams, we had more people engaged and invested in it, we had more people supporting it, and we had more people watching it, okay? So, here's the thing. I don't think it's me, because I'm actually approaching this game the same way I did Street Fighter 6. I'm studying, I'm getting better, I'm trying to learn. This is not me just messing around with the game and losing and then raging at the game. I'm actually legitimately trying to understand why I'm losing. I'm asking questions of the chat. Hey, why do you think I lost that? What is it with this move? What was that move? Was that his heat smash or was that something else? How do you avoid that? Can you punish that? And I'm trying to learn actively. I want to get better at Tekken because I really like this game. And quite frankly, I've always liked Tekken. I just never had the investment in it as I did Street Fighter. And I'll be honest, I think Street Fighter 6 is played out. Now it's been out, what, 8 months? And every time I play it, it just feels like it's more of the same, people playing exactly the same way, abusing the online connections and getting away with stuff, and it's just not that fun anymore. Sure, every once in a while to do a stream of it probably would be neat, but until they either rebalance it with a Season 2, or they add enough significant new content, I don't feel like I really want to play it that much anymore. I'm burnt out on it, you know, I'm not really enjoying myself when I play that game. But here's the thing, people asked for months, oh, I can't wait for Tekken. When Tekken comes out, really excited to see Phil play Tekken again. And then when I started playing it, people were like, we're shocked. We thought Phil was not that good at Tekken, but he's decent. I would say I'm average at Tekken. I'm not good at this game. I know I'm not. I don't have character knowledge to be good. Once I learn the characters, and I know their moves and capabilities, and I learn what's blockable, what's not, what's parryable? What can be punished? How do you dodge this? Do you duck it? Once I figure that stuff out, then I'll say I'm getting better at Tekken. Right now, I feel like I'm just average. I have fundamentals, or I'm getting fundamentals in this game because I've played Tekken before, but it's definitely not as good as I am in Street Fighter. But again, even then, people were like, wow, we're surprised. You definitely are better than you let on. The way you were talking is that you're not good at the game, but look, you're getting win streaks and everything. I mean, you're right, but I've also been playing at the lower levels. Take a look at what happened with Paul. As soon as I got to a level where people knew what they were doing, then the matches were much closer, and it was kind of back and forth as opposed to me dominating, right? But yeah, like, it's indisputable at this point. Take a look at the reaction and the amount of attention that Tekken 8 is getting on this channel versus Street Fighter 6. It's night and day. Now, you might say there are various reasons for this. Number one, all right, I'm not known for fighting games. And I was at one point. I was actually known as, hey, that's the guy who plays Super Turbo online. That's the guy who messes around with Street Fighter 4 and does fun Madness series sets, and those are really fun too, right? I used to do that stuff. Quite frankly, I was known as the guy who freaked out when playing fighting games and yelling at their opponents in a toxic way, and people thought it was funny, and that was the shtick that got me popularity on YouTube for fighting games back in the day. It wasn't my skill level. Honestly, I think today, with the level that I am at in Street Fighter 6, with multiple characters at master level, already the level I'm playing at in Tekken 8 a week and a half in, this is much better than I've played in fighting games ever on YouTube before, except Super Turbo. That would be the one game I would say, yeah, I play at a high level at that game. But outside of that, of a new fighting game, these are the best I've ever performed in new fighting games, right? So that's the thing, and it's like, so what exactly am I supposed to do differently? I honestly don't know, all right? Because right now we've come to a point where I have to make a decision. So let me explain to you what I mean by that. And no, it's not, am I dropping Tekken? No, because I'm not dropping Tekken. I like Tekken. I'm going to keep playing Tekken, okay? But here's the decision that we have to come to, all right? I'm not going to be playing Tekken 8 as much as Street Fighter 6. I can't. Why? Because number one, right now there's a lot of other games going on that I need to continue to make progress in. And if I play as much Tekken as I did Street Fighter 6, I won't make the progress in those games that I need to. All right, so that's just being matter of fact. But number two, Tekken is not getting as many views, attention, or support as Street Fighter 6 did. So because of that, I just can't play it more often. I can't be playing it 4 or 5 times a week like I was doing with Street Fighter 6. It wouldn't support the business. You understand? It just wouldn't. Yesterday, I barely hit the tier 1 goal for tips, and everything else was slow as hell. Like, basically, it was like, wow, I'm doing a daytime stream of Tekken, thinking that it's going to bring in more viewers, and it actually kind of did the opposite. Like, I probably would have done better playing any other game. And I'm like, wow, I'm surprised at this. I am. I'm definitely surprised at this. It confuses me because, again, the vibe that I was getting from my audience for months was, we're getting bored of Street Fighter 6. We can't wait for Tekken 8 because we like how you covered Street Fighter 6, so we want to see that in another different fighting game franchise. So that's exactly what I'm giving you, but definitely the attention's not there for it. All right? So my question is, how do I approach moving forward in Tekken with all of this being the case? And here's the 2 scenarios. Number one, I play the game more casually. And what I mean by that is, I take maybe like once a week, I pick a new character. And maybe like for Friday night fights, I go into training mode and I do a half an hour of practice. And then we play for about 90 minutes of online play. And then I do another stream later in the week of online multiplayer with that character. So essentially you're talking like 4.5 hours of online multiplayer with a new character each week, where I just try to learn the basics. I start from the bottom, right? And I try to learn basics, combos, or whatever, and apply. And I can do that like once a week. Because at least I want to play Tekken 8 twice a week. Probably one night stream, one day stream. Okay? So if that's the case, then doing it that way, right? Maybe I can learn one character a week. And then over the course of a month or two, I'll know like 8 or 9 characters. Okay? That's one approach. All right? The other approach is, instead of doing that, I focus in on 3 or 4 characters that I like, that I'm good with, and that I'm getting better with. And I really try to improve with just those characters. And I basically get to a much higher level of gameplay. It'll be way more challenging. It'll be frustrating because people are going to be good. They already are. Like when I'm playing with June, I'm playing damn good players who are mixing me up and hitting me with stuff I've never seen. I'm like, damn, this is going to be hard to hang with these players when I really don't know what I'm facing. It's complete lack of game knowledge because I haven't really played this franchise that much, right? So, in this regard, if I really only focus on 3 or 4 characters, it's going to be like Paul, King, June, and maybe I pick one more, all right? And then, every time you see me play Tekken 8, it's going to be me focusing on those characters. Maybe on Friday Night Fights, it'll be one character. And then when I play it again on Monday or Tuesday, it'll be one of the other characters. And then the next Friday Night Fights, it's the other character. And I kind of rotate. Because if I do that, then I feel like if I'm focusing on the same characters and I'm studying and I'm watching matchup knowledge online and stuff like that, I'm going to learn. I'm going to get better. You're going to see me climb the ranks. It'll be slow because it's not going to be like Street Fighter 6 where I was playing it constantly. But it'll be slower progress, but it will still be progress. You understand? Here's the thing. There's just not enough attention on Tekken 8 to warrant me playing it more or as much as Street Fighter 6. Therefore, you're not going to see the same things happen like happened with Street Fighter 6. For example, in Street Fighter 6, I literally within a month played like with 10 characters. I did. Like I was picking 2 characters a week and learning them and going online and messing around. Now, I wasn't good with all of them. For example, DJ I played once, did horribly, never went back. Minot played once, did horribly, never went back, right? But through me playing so many characters, I finally caught on with those that I really liked, and it allowed me to learn and get better, and then latch on to, say, 4 or 5 that I really liked and bring them to master level. With Tekken, I'm not going to be playing it that much. So I'm not going to be able to play 10, 15 characters and then pick out of those the 4 or 5 that I like. It's got to be one or the other. Either I play it casually and you will see more variety, but I just won't do that well. I won't get good, or I focus on a smaller group of characters and I do get good, but then you're not going to see a lot of variety, right? And I feel like, again, I'm in one of those situations that no matter what I do, I can't please everyone. There's going to be some people who are always going to be asking for another character. It's happening right now. I'm not even kidding you. As I decided to play with Paul yesterday, there were people in the chat. So when's your new character? Is it going to be Yoshimitsu? Is it going to be Kuma? Who's it going to be? We're waiting. When's your next character? I'm like, can I just play with Paul? Can I just play and get better? Like, again, I think a lot of people, they don't understand how fighting games work. And that's fine, especially for those of you who've never played at a competitive level. But there is a grind involved. It's not simply you play with a character once, oh, you know them, now move on. That's not the case. There's always knowledge to be learned. There's always matchups to get better at. And that's the case. Like, I think what happens is people see me beat up people with Paul quick, and they're like, oh, he already knows Paul. No. I'm just beating people who don't know how to play. Once I get to that level, like it was at the end of yesterday's stream where people are better, now it's a big, more daunting task to get those wins. This is where the real challenge lies for me. You see? And I hope that you guys will continue to tune in no matter what I do. But at this point, I do need feedback. What would you like to see? Do you want to see me keep playing with new characters and just learn general knowledge about the game and not get better? Or do you want to see me play with 3 or 4 characters, focusing solely on them, and get better? Because there's got to be a choice at this point. If I'm playing it twice a week, we have to make the decision now so I know how to approach it. Like this coming Friday night, right? My choice is either pick a new character or play with King again. Because I haven't played with King now in a week, and I would like to get better with King. I was doing well with King, and then I kind of hit a wall where I was like, oh, these faster characters are jabbing me and interrupting everything I do. So my next step with King would be go online and look for like punish stuff for King. What's his best, fastest move so I can punish people who are just spamming me with light, quick attacks? That's what I need to figure out. And I'll do that, or I'll learn a new character. So it's like, so what do I want to do? What do you guys want? You know, I don't know. I'm kind of like, I can see the sides of both of it. Back in the day when I played a fighting game, I learned every character and I didn't get good at it. Like that's what I used to do. Remember when a new Street Fighter would come out? I would just play every character. Today we're doing Ryu. Tomorrow we're doing Chun-Li. Then we're going to do this new character. Then we're going to do this one. And every day would be a new character, me messing around learning basics and doing a set online and then on to the next and then on to the next. But I never got good at the games. Like I would argue Street Fighter 4, I was at best an average player. I never got good at it because I never focused on it. It was always me all over the place, right? So, again, I don't know what to do. And I think, see, already, I'll tell you right now, in the chat, just listen to this. One person says, variety, getting good is for yourself. Variety is for fun in the audience. Let the pro competitor mentality go. Next person says, just pick new characters later. Focus on Paul, King, and June right now because you're learning. That's two lines next to each other in my chat. So it's like, Abdullah says, play different characters. No point getting better with a character because you're a variety streamer. If you focus only on Tekken 8, then it makes sense. But for the sake of being a variety, do that. And then Crackerjack's next line, get good at a few characters. That's your best content. I think I rest my case in my point that it doesn't matter what I do, I disappoint people because everyone wants me to do everything, and sadly I can't do every scenario, you know, especially with this. I'm getting pulled in all these directions. Keep playing Baldur's Gate, get further in Like a Dragon. Hey, we really like the chill Palworld streams. Man, your React stuff's really good. Do more retro React streams on DSP Throwback. Oh, by the way, play more Tekken and do 2 different things in Tekken at the same time. Oy, oy, oy. Okay. Now, I have a request of the on-demand audience, meaning those of you who are watching this podcast right now on demand. You're not here live for the stream. Because every day I get feedback from the live stream. All right? I do. I get good feedback and I weigh and balance it. Who I really want more feedback from is the on-demand viewer. Those of you out there who just watch everything after the fact because you're not here to give me your feedback live, okay? Here's the thing. I'm distinctly noticing a difference in the viewership of Tekken when it comes to the on-demand videos. The videos for Street Fighter did really, really well, and then it tapered off after like a month or two. With Tekken, we're a week in, and already the views, like I said, the Paul gameplay from yesterday was good gameplay. I'm getting better. I'm playing better. By the end, I'm having really fun competitive matches. I can't even get 300 views in 24 hours. So what gives? That's what I'd really like to know. Like, what gives? What's the difference between this and Street Fighter? Was there a reason that you watched the Street Fighter footage and you don't like the Tekken? You know, I really want feedback because I want to be putting out content you guys like, and I want to know what it is. That's the definitive difference. Because I thought there would be, like, kind of hitting a reset button. I really thought that hitting a reset button with the fighting game would rejuvenate interest. I thought that the interest for fighting games had tapered off because I kept playing Street Fighter 6. Now what I'm starting to realize is maybe it was just people are just burnt out on fighting games because I played them for 7 months straight, and now it's just not that special anymore, right? Maybe that's what it is. I mean, maybe that's really what it is. People just got burnt out on fighting games in general, and I get that. It was just think about this: Street Fighter 6 in June, Mortal Kombat 1 in September, Tekken in January. So within a 6-month period, 3 ginormous, high-profile, big fighting game franchises all came out with a new iteration. So that's a lot of fighting games in a short period of time. So maybe that's what it is, right? I'm not sure what to do about this. I want to make content you like. And I was under the impression people were all over Tekken 8 and waiting for it. That's the feedback I was getting on streams and everything. And then I tried to play this game, and it seems like there's just not that much interest, you know? So what's the deal? I need feedback. I cherish your feedback. I want you to understand this. I really appreciate feedback. Please leave comments on this video. If you're part of the on-demand audience, I want to know your opinion. Do you just not care about fighting games? Are you burn out on them because I played so many? Would you like to see me play new characters in Tekken and not really get good, but just casually play it? Would you like to see me focus on a few characters and get better at it? Like, what is it you want to see out of Tekken? Or is it that you just don't care about Tekken because fighting games don't interest you? That's really what I want to hear, okay? Please give me that feedback. Because here's the deal. Right now, having a fighting game balanced with 2 RPGs is the way to go. It's complete action as opposed to very slow combat in Baldur's Gate 3 and a lot of lore, or almost a very Japanese-centric RPG in Like a Dragon, which is great, but you see, you need that action. If I wasn't playing an action-based game right now, I feel like everyone would be complaining everything's too slow and boring. So Tekken's the thing breaking it up, which is great. But I need to play it in a way that entertains people, okay? So please, feedback needed. So because this Friday I'm playing it again, Friday Night Fights. So the question is am I focusing in on King and doing a King stream on Friday night, where I will study some videos, watch some matchups, probably watch like a video that maybe we'll do a tutorial about how he punishes unsafe moves, and then try to get better with him? Is that what I'm doing? Or am I going to pick a new character, study up on them, and try someone from scratch on Friday? That's what I need to figure out. So please give me feedback. I keep telling you guys, feedback is essential. I get a lot of feedback from this live audience. I don't get a lot of feedback from you guys who are on-demand viewers. For whatever reason, a lot of the times I ask for feedback on these videos, and I get like next to none. And it's like, well, then I just got to make a decision best from what the feedback I got. But I want to be sure I'm doing the right things for everyone. My viewer audience here, on-demand versus live, I understand that they're different audiences. You know, a lot of you guys who watch me on demand are people who are longtime viewers who've watched me for years and years. Some of you only watch the podcast and then only watch gameplay when it's your cup of tea. A lot of people come back to the channel for the first time in months when a game is out that they're interested in. I think a lot of people will come back when I start Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. And then later this year, there'll be more action-oriented games and more people will come back for those as well, right? So, yeah, I mean, that's what I'm thinking. And I need your feedback about how to cover this stuff, okay? Really. So please offer that up. I want that info, okay? Really, I need it because I'm just stumped right now. I'm looking at the videos. I'm like, wow, what a great set of Paul gameplay yesterday. I really hope that I pleased my audience because I really worked hard to get better with that character. And then I look at the views. It's like, what happened? Like, no one's watching these videos at all. Like, what the hell happened here? I don't know. If I'm getting more views on my turn-based RPG playthroughs than my action-based fighting game coverage, there's an issue. You see? I really feel like, what is going on? So, let me know what's going on. Fair enough? Okay. Cool. So, there you go. Just want to make sure there's nothing else with Tekken that I didn't touch upon. No, I think I touched upon everything I wanted to talk about. Okay. Last night, we played Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth. The good news is, we're making solid progress. We beat Chapter 3. We got into Chapter 4. Chapter 4 is heavy story. And basically, the entire chapter is this story that takes place in a part of Hawaii called District 5. Which is supposed to be the secret underground town or city that is like run by crime. And we're doing good. We're making good progress. From what I'm going to understand, maybe I might beat that on Wednesday night when we play again. And then when we play it again on Saturday during my Super Bowl marathon event, I might get to the point where you can unlock jobs. And one of the jobs you can do is an NFL football player. So how cool would it be if on Saturday we get to the job systems and I can get the NFL player and just play as the NFL player during the event? That would be really cool and tie in, obviously, with the Super Bowl theme. So that's what I'm hoping we'll do. I guess we'll have to see how far we get tomorrow night and go from there. Now, ultimately, my goal is to unlock the Dondoko Island, which is essentially the same as Animal Crossing style minigame, by Valentine's Day. I don't know if I'll do that. That unlocks in the beginning of Chapter 6. We'll be hitting Chapter 5 on Saturday, so it really depends how far do we get on Saturday. I'll probably play it like again on Sunday night, and then maybe even again on Tuesday night, and hopefully between all those nights of playing it, I'll unlock it. And then when we play, I can play on Valentine's Day night with my wife for the first time ever right here, co-op, Dondoko Island family night, which will be really neat. First co-op gameplay we've ever done together. I can't wait to do some stuff with Kat. We've wanted to do gameplay for a while, and this is exactly what we want to do. I got to unlock it, though, okay? So there you go. What I love is when you get idiotic things said like this in the chat. He says, it's you, it's not the game. Oh, so that's why when I was playing Street Fighter 6, there was tons of attention and views, and now when I'm playing Tekken 8, there's not. Because it's me playing it. That makes no fucking sense. You're an idiot. Bye-bye. I love it. There's dunce level stuff like that. Completely worthless feedback. Not constructive at all. Just moronic stuff that some idiot says because they don't like me. Anyway, continuing on positively. So yeah, last night's stream in Like a Dragon, I had a great time. Great progress. Chill vibe. Can't wait to play it again tomorrow night. Okay? Cool. Today, we're back to Baldur's Gate 3. In Baldur's Gate 3, we've been thoroughly investigating Act 2. You know, first we went through this whole Shadowlands, being guided by this Spider Drow guy, and then we got to the Moonrise Tower. We investigated all of Moonrise Tower, got tons of lore dump. Then we left Moonrise Tower and we started investigating, and we found things such as the Toll House. Then we went to the Healing School, right? Went to a couple caves and did stuff in there. We just finished up with the morgue. And then when we're done with that, we're going to head back out to the overworld. And then we got to head east because there's this town that's protected by light. And we kind of skipped it. Although we really didn't skip it, there was no real way to get over there because you had to stick with the guy who had the lantern at first, and he took you right to Moonrise Tower. So we're going to backtrack and I'll head up there today and see where that takes us. I don't know, but we're going to find out. So more overworld exploration, more questing and fun in Baldur's Gate 3 today. Tonight on the late stream, 6:45 p.m. Pacific time, it is Palworld, my weekly session of survival fun. I was actually saying to Kat this morning, I says, you know what I've realized? So Palworld is essentially a combination of two games. It's definitely Minecraft through the mining or harvesting of resources, crafting of things like a way to make food, a way to be self-sufficient with your farms or mining areas, building your base with defenses and buildings and places to sleep. It definitely feels like Minecraft in that regard. But the other factor is Pokemon. So it really is, it's Minecraft with Pokemon is the best way to describe it, I feel. And I think that formula actually really works. I'm enjoying the game every time I play it. So I can't wait to play it again. What's funny is some people are saying it's Ark. I've never played Ark. It feels to me like it's Minecraft. It totally does. Like that feels that's the game to me. It's Minecraft, but they also added in this combat with capturing and training and leveling up and riding creatures, right? So there you go. So I'm excited for that tonight. Those streams are always a good time, and you guys always help me out to figure out what's important to do or how to go about stuff. You know, because I'm not playing it that much. I'm only playing it once a week. Unlike everyone else who played the living shit out of the game for like 2 weeks straight, you know, I'm just playing it casually. And again, I'm liking this game as like a once a week late night chill stream deal, just like we were doing with Minecraft for like a year and a half. I'm really enjoying these sessions. So I can't wait for that tonight. And what I'm hoping, because the end of last stream, we basically leveled up my outfit, my armor, leveled up both of my weapons. So I got a better spear, a better bow, learned how to ride Pokemon, excuse me. Wow, what a slip. I didn't say that. What I meant to say is we learned how to ride pals. Excuse me. They're totally not Pokemon. There's no way anyone could make that comparison, right? Oh, I'll wash my mouth out with soap now, right? So anyway, we learned how to ride the pals and how that enhanced combat and everything. And so what I'm thinking is maybe by the end of tonight, we can go back to the first boss and actually beat it. Because now I'm probably going to do like double the damage I was doing. I'm a lot more maneuverable. I feel like I could do that. But let's see what happens. All right, let's play tonight. Let's see where the game takes us. And maybe we can go back and do the first boss, which would be really neat to finally get that done. Okay? So, by the way, I'm trying to remember how many hours into Palworld I am. I don't even think I'm that many hours in. I want to say like 12. Let's look. I'm not really that far in. Because, again, I've been playing way less. Oh, I'm only 7 hours in. Wow. See? Doesn't it feel like we're further into the game than that? It totally does. Well, I'm only 7 hours into Palworld. No wonder I haven't beaten the first boss yet. Right? Like, I swear we were like over a dozen hours in, and I'm not even close. So there you go. So anyway, yes, see you tonight for that. That should be a good time. Now, tomorrow, it'll be more Baldur's Gate 3 progress on the first stream. And on the late stream, it will be, whatchamacallit? More Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth as we try to finish up Chapter 4 in the District 5 area and move onward. Okay? Cool. All right. So I'm off on Thursday. Friday is going to be more Baldur's Gate 3 and Friday Night Fights. And as I've already told you guys, Friday Night Fights will either be a major light stream of King trying to get better with that character or a new character, depending on what you want. So please give me your feedback. And, of course, on Saturday, all day long, it is the Super Bowl Bash here on DSPGaming. I'll be dressed up in NFL attire all day long, and I'll have some props and silly things with me. We're going to do many events. Number one, there's going to be booze. What will it be? I don't know. I'm going to go to the liquor store this week. I can't spend a lot of money right now because things are going to be tight for me for like the next month to 2 months due to the trolling that I've been under. with these fake memberships. But we'll see what happens there. Hopefully I can get something. Maybe I'll find some beer or something. We'll see what I can find, okay? So, yes, I'm going to be drinking. I'm going to be doing many different things. Number one, we're going to do a simulated Super Bowl match, the Kansas City Chiefs versus the San Francisco 49ers, and it's going to be in Madden 24, the newest one. So that's really cool to do that sim match and see with the new rosters and everything updated. Who does Madden think is going to win the game? Well, we're going to do a sim. It'll probably take about 45 minutes, I would think, to sim it. And let's see what Madden thinks. In addition to that, we are going to have a segment of Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth. As I stated, my goal is to possibly get into Chapter 5 to the job systems and hopefully unlock the football player job. And now we can play as an NFL player during the Super Bowl Bash Marathon and beat people up in the streets. I think that would be pretty darn fun, actually. So, yeah, that would be pretty neat. All right, I hope that will be cool. All right, and in addition to that, I want to do some other gameplay. I'm strongly leaning towards Modern Warfare 3. Reason being, Modern Warfare 3 gets an update tomorrow, and that update is supposed to add new maps and things for the new season. And I was like, well, that would be a great opportunity. I'm already going to be buzzed. Why not jump into Modern Warfare 3 for the first time in many weeks and just have a silly online, for FPS session? I think that could be pretty fun, okay? Now, there's also going to be food. My wife is going to be making multiple kinds of Super Bowl snacks, meaning she's going to go online and find recipes for these kind of snacks and things, and she's going to make them herself. So it's not just going to be like something you would buy at the store. It's going to be something like better homemade, and I'm curious what she's going to make, because we've talked about things like dips and quesadillas and things. I don't know if she's exactly doing those or not. I'm curious to see what ideas she finds. I know she's going to start looking for that today, and then probably tomorrow we'll solidify what it is so I can buy the ingredients when I go out on Thursday. So, yeah, deviled eggs are good, Greasy. I love deviled eggs. Maybe I should tell her to make some deviled eggs. I would love deviled eggs. Anyway, so that's what's going to happen on Saturday. Now, I haven't mentioned this at all recently, but now it's time to start mentioning it, all right? Last month, I was very, very strongly negatively affected in the pocketbook by these trolls basically giving away so many free memberships, all right? I didn't get credit for any of those. Right now, I'm not even kidding. I just looked last night on a whim. I was like, gee, I wonder how many memberships we have on the channel. We have over 2,000 memberships on this channel right now. Out of those, less than 500 are valid paying members. So I went from a channel that in December had over 800 paying members down to a channel that doesn't even have 500 paying members. So I want you to think about that. Why did that happen? Because the trolls gave them away for free. And so people who normally would have become a member are not. They already got one. People who maybe would have given out memberships. Let's give some memberships that are legit. They're not doing it because I already have 2,000. You see? And this has very much hurt me financially. Okay? Now, many of you were already going to buy a membership. All right? What I would ask is that if you have a free membership from one of these trolls, if you could contribute in another way, that would be great. Notably, this event is coming up on Saturday, right? If you tipped me during the event, that would be amazing. That would be great because that would help out a lot. Basically, when I get paid this month by YouTube, it's going to be way less than it is usually, like by thousands of dollars because of this issue. And I don't know what's going to happen in the next month when I got to pay all my bills, all right? I'm not asking anyone to go crazy. I'm not asking anyone to dump tons of donations. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying if you were someone who maybe already was going to get a membership and you got one for free, it'd be great if you could contribute in another way. Right now, what would help me is tips, because if you did do, say, a super chat, I won't see that until next month. It ain't going to help me in the next 30 to 60 days when I'm trying to pay bills. Right now, the tips are really the only way to help with that. Okay? So, if you could, please, if you could contribute in some way, and maybe the day to do it would be Saturday during this big Super Bowl event, that'd be really cool. Have a big rallying of support on that day. All right? But I'm not going to be harping on this. I'm not going to be bringing it up constantly. No, we're not going to do, it's an emergency fundraiser stream with giant $1,000 goals. We're not doing that. I've been there, done that. I've learned from my past Yes, I actually did streams like that in the past. I'm not proud of them. I did those streams when I was at my lowest, where basically I had to do them because I was in a situation where I had absolutely no money because of bankruptcy and all this debt I was in. Luckily, I'm not there right now, okay? But I need to recover from this idiocy of what these people have done on YouTube. And I'm hoping that this is the first step towards it. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is a good thing to start as a positive move towards recovery, as opposed to, you know, having to basically just deal with the fact that I guess YouTube isn't going to fix this issue anytime soon. And now I'm just supposed to have less income because of idiots? No, absolutely not. I'm putting out the same content, right? And people are liking the content. In fact, if you take a look at YouTube, this is true. In January, my views were up, my engagement was up, everything was up, income way down. Now, normally the income is down in January because of ads. There's like no ads on YouTube in January because all the ads, you know, were for the holiday season, and they're dramatically reduced in January. I'm used to that. What I'm not used to is seeing the other thing happen at the same time. That's the problem. It was like the worst timing to have these things happen together, okay? So, if you could, please support the streams. If you can, please tip. And if you attend this stream on Saturday, that would be a great time to support the streams with a rallying of support with everyone together. That would put me in a much better position for the rest of this month, and I wouldn't have to worry all month about, oh God, how am I going to pay everything because I got less income because of these idiots. Okay? Thank you. No, I'm not dumping that on anyone. No, there's no personal responsibility there for anyone to do anything. I'm just telling you like it is, and if you can help, thank you in advance. Okay? Cool. Now, for the rest of the week, we're going to continue on with, you know, full streams. On Sunday, it'll be my React show, and it'll be Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth. On Monday, it'll be Baldur's Gate 3 and probably like Palworld. And then probably Tuesday, excuse me, oh my God. I take that back because Monday will probably be Tekken 8 and Palworld. And then Tuesday will probably be Baldur's Gate 3 and Like a Dragon. And hopefully by Tuesday night, we've unlocked Dondoko Island. Because then what we could do is, on Valentine's Day, which is Wednesday of next week, my wife and I can do our very first ever co-op stream of gameplay, putting together our Dondoko Island in my game, which would be super cool to do. I can't wait. She's already done it in her game. She knows the ins and outs of it. She's going to help us build the island here live on stream. I cannot wait for it. I'm super stoked for it, okay? So, hopefully, everything goes according to plan this week. Great progress with Like a Dragon on Wednesday night. Good progress on Saturday during the Super Bowl event, and then maybe I can unlock the NFL player, which would tie in with the event. And then more Sunday night, Tuesday night, and hopefully between all those streams, we unlock Dondoko, and then we do the Dondoko co-op stream on Wednesday next week. That's the schedule. Hope that sounds good. No, I'm not checking out Foam Stars. No, I'm not playing Suicide Squad. No, I'm not playing Persona 3. No, I'm not playing Grand Blue. No, I got too much else to do on my plate to juggle right now. All right? The other thing is that we are looking at to do another Retro React stream on the Throwback channel, basically every other week. So I'm thinking, we just did one on Sunday. It did really good. Let's not rush to do one this week. Let's do one the week after. That way it keeps it fresh. And what I will do is probably make a quick video over there so that people who watch that channel, maybe those people who are over there maybe don't watch this podcast. So I will make a quick video over there tonight to explain how well it went, that everyone seems to like it, and that the next one will be in 2 weeks. But curious to get feedback on what games should be in the running. Because I would say definitely Dark Souls 1 should be in the running again. Heavy Rain should be in the running because it was this close to winning and only slightly lost off to Dark Souls 1. But what other classic playthroughs would people like to see me possibly do a retro react to? And the one that I saw a lot of people suggest is Fallout 3, but honestly, I don't know if that would work, and the reason being, it has all the music in it. And all of that music over the years got muted. Like, a lot of the Fallout 3 playthrough is already kind of muted and destroyed, so I don't even know if we could watch it. We go to watch it, and the video is silent, right? So how do you react to a silent video, right? You know? Or, see, here's the thing. I don't care that much about the ad revenue, that it's a big deal if, like, the video gets claimed. I do care if we're doing it in stream and the stream gets shut down or the videos get blocked. That pisses me off because then it means we wasted our time. So, yeah, let's talk about that in the next couple of weeks. We have about a week and a half to figure out what should the options be for the next Retro React stream. Hopefully people will give me feedback over there tonight when I put out that video about it. And then I'll make another poll, just like we did last time. We'll do a poll, people will vote, and we'll figure out what that next Retro React will be, and I can't wait for it. Okay, so before we get to shout-outs, 2 quick updates. So I guess we should get into the segment that I like to call DSP News. Update number 1, Game Pass games for this month. I'd like to give you the lineup, okay, because it was just announced this morning. Anyway, so new Game Pass games for February. Today, Anuchard. Okay. Tomorrow, Train Sim World 4. On the 8th, Madden NFL 24. Yes, if you can believe it, we're trying to arrange for this Super Bowl event on Saturday, and we're like, oh, I'm probably going to have to get Madden 23 because that's the one that's on Game Pass. Then someone tells me, oh, were you aware that there's a 10-hour trial with EA Play? And I was like, oh, I didn't know that. We can do Madden 24. So I download Madden 24, and now they announce, oh, yeah, Madden 24 is on Game Pass on February 8th. So literally all that for nothing. Madden 24 is fine. We can play Madden 24 on Saturday. Much ado about nothing, okay? On the 13th of February, Resident Evil 3. Now, when they say that, I'm assuming they mean the remake, because I'm not aware of the original Resident Evil 3 being on an Xbox console. So I guess Resident Evil 3 Remake will be on Game Pass. On the 14th, A Little to the Left and Bloodstained Ritual of the Night. Remember, Bloodstained is the spiritual successor to Castlevania. On the 15th, Plate Up. And on the 20th, Return to Grace. I don't know what 90% of those games are, but I felt like the Madden one was notable because we had been talking about that recently, okay? So the only other thing to talk about this morning is a follow-up to yesterday's Xbox story. As you remember, there is a strong rumor, not confirmed by anyone, but a strong rumor that Xbox exclusive games are now going to be ported to other consoles, notably the PS5. And already the rumor had been that it was going to be Hi-Fi Rush, but now the rumor is, oh, it's going to be everything. It's going to be Starfield, it's going to be Halo, it's going to be Gears, it's going to be every game is going to be ported to other consoles, right? So, of course, immediately everyone starts freaking out. Oh my God, this is the end of Xbox, right? This is seriously, that's it. There's nothing else that's ever going to be worth playing on Xbox. There's no reason to own an Xbox, yada, yada. If you want my take on that, watch yesterday's podcast because I had a different take. I feel like this is an over-exaggeration. Literally no one has said there will not be Xbox exclusives or at least timed exclusives, right? Can you imagine if Halo, whatever it is, what would it be, 7, 8? Let's say Halo 10 came out and it actually came out on PlayStation the same day as Xbox. Do you think that's going to happen? I don't think Microsoft spent all this money buying all these studios to then make games cross-platform. What was the point then? I'm just saying. But that's my take. And a lot of people disagree. They think this is the end of Xbox. The sky is falling. I've even seen people start posting stuff up on the internet. This was the day when Xbox started its downward slope to death. And it's Don Matrick presenting the Xbox One. Remember that? Do you guys remember over 10 years ago when Don Matrick literally botched the launch of Xbox One and looked like making himself look like a jackass and made everyone hate Microsoft for like a year? I remember that, and I remember he got shit canned. He got basically fired. They said he left. No, he was forced out. And then he went to run Zynga, a mobile games company, for a few years. He tanked that company too, and then he left the industry. So, there you go. Anyway, the big announcement and follow-up this morning is Phil Spencer himself, yes, that's right, the CEO of Xbox, he came out and said, I'm hearing all this stuff that's being said online. Next week, we are going to do an official online event to explain what's going on. And he left it at that. He says it'll be about the future of Xbox. And that's it. Immediately, people say, well, that's obviously concrete evidence. We're all correct. He literally didn't say anything. He literally said, we will have an event next week to explain what's going on. He didn't say, yes, you're all right. He didn't say anything like that at all. What the? This just drives me nuts. Right? You know what I mean? Like, people spin anything to serve their own agendas. He didn't say anything about it. He just says, I've heard everyone talking online. He's heard this buzz online. And he basically wants to clear the air. So he's going to do a presentation next week to explain what's really going on. Is that not as clear as the day that he wants to dispel maybe some rumors and let everyone know the truth of the matter? Like, I just don't get it. What fucking makes people think that confirmed what they were talking about? It doesn't at all. Do you guys remember years and years ago when there was a fabrication about somehow I was hiring an escort and flying them from Europe to my home to spend time with me, right? And I said, well, tomorrow I'm going to tell you all the truth about it on the podcast, right? Now, back then I didn't have a podcast, but I said, oh, I'll talk about it on the pre-stream tomorrow. And some people said, you see, tomorrow he's going to spill the beans and confirm it all. And the next day I said, it's all bullshit. It's all lies. Don't believe any of it. I don't know where it's coming from. Just ignore it, right? It's like, your guys are out of your minds. Just because he's going to do an event to clarify what's going on with Microsoft doesn't mean he's 100% confirming everything's, all these conspiracies. Like, what the fuck? Really, this is just insane. I don't know how these people fucking get this stuff. I just don't understand why people in the modern day want to believe the absolute craziest, zaniest, most drama-filled, worst-case scenario about everything. Really. I expect the announcement's going to be, here's my expectations, and I could be wrong because this is my speculation. They want to have exclusive games for a limited time. So they're going to make games like Blizzard, Activision, you know, that just got acquired. Bethesda, what's the name of the studio that just made the flop game Redfall, but they've made games like Dishonored and stuff in the past? I forgot their name. But they have like 10, 15 big studios. I assume the announcement's going to be, when we launch games, they're going to have a timed window on Xbox. So like, let's say 6 months, there'll be Xbox exclusives. So if you want to play them, you either got to have a PC or an Xbox. Then they're going to be ported to PS5 so that another audience can get a chance to play these games, because that makes sense. They're going to get their installed base exclusivity window. So if you still own the console, you get that bonus. Maybe a lot of these games will still be under Game Pass, so you'll get them under Game Pass. You don't have to buy them. But if you own a PS5, you're not left in the cold. You'll be able to buy the game a few months later, right? That's my take. I think that would make the most sense. Seriously. I don't know where people are getting this idea, right? Xbox is now Sega. They're no longer going to make consoles. They're just going to make games and publish them everywhere. Who the fuck said anything like that? I don't care what your industry insider is leaking. There's no evidence of anything. It's wild what these people fucking come out with. You know what I mean? So, that's what I'm thinking is going to happen. I could be completely wrong. From a business standpoint, I think that makes the most sense of what they could do. That way they don't lose the entire need for the Xbox console outside of the Game Pass value. And it's the best of both worlds because they will make additional sales when the games go cross-platform 6 months later. Essentially, their games will have 2 life cycles. The Xbox launch and then the worldwide release months later. They'll get 2 sales boosts. You see? I don't see what's wrong with that or why people would think otherwise. Why? Because people want to be toxic. People want to believe the worst. They want to see the downfall of Microsoft and Xbox because then they could they go videos about it and streams about it, and they could have pictures with fires burning and the dog sitting at the table. This is fine, and the Elmo going like this with the apocalyptic fire background, and they could and everyone gets all fucking uppity about shit on the internet, and I'm tired of it because it's so fucking immature. There's no evidence of anything anyone is saying. They're doing it on purpose to stir up nonsensical drama so you'll watch their crap, and it pisses me off. All right? Now, if next week the announcement is, yeah, we're not going to make Xboxes anymore, everything's going to be full-on, cross-platform from now on, then you know what? Fair enough. You want to go crazy. You want to go ham. You want to make the content with the fire and the apocalypse, then at least it's warranted. But at least fucking wait for that to happen before you announce it. You fucking ingenuous bastards. Really. These people just are so out for clickbait. They want you to believe the worst so that way they benefit. It pisses me off. Okay. Well, that's my take, and I guess I clicked the wrong thing. That's my take, and I guess we'll see next week what actually happens when Phil Spencer steps up to the plate, per se, and it announces exactly what's going on. All right? I guess we'll see. I agree. Dark Mega says console wars are stupid. Console wars have always been stupid. Listen, competition is fine, but fanboyism and warring between gaming communities is incredibly fucking stupid and always has been. You need competition. Competition is healthy. When you have multiple companies vying for the top spot, it's healthy because it makes them want to be better. It makes them have improvements to their consoles, improvements to their game development cycles. Everyone's trying to be the top dog. We want that in the games industry. We don't want one bloated person or company in charge that's always ahead, because then what happens is you get laziness and complacency like we have with YouTube. There is no video sharing website that competes with YouTube. So what happens with YouTube? The site's shit. Worst DMCA fucking system on the internet. Absolute abuse left and right. Ads are fucked up left and right. Demonetization's rampant. People get banned from the site for no fucking reason. They reprogram the site on a daily basis, ruin it for everybody. Then we fix it after the fact. They don't listen. They don't actually admit fault. They're fucked up. Why? Because they're the industry leader and no one can take them down. They're just untouchable. We don't want that in the games industry. We want competition, right? We do. We absolutely want competition. So let's hope that there is competition. I don't want to see the downfall of Xbox. I'm not a fucking Sony pony, you know. At the same time, I'm not an Xbot either. I just want to see... I don't feel like right now there is much competition because all the Xbox exclusive games suck. Let's be honest. Halo Infinite was good for 2 months and then it sucked, right? Redfall comes out. It sucks. Hi-Fi Rush. It's good, but it's just an indie game. It's not going to stir up that much attention, right? These exclusives are not enough to make Xbox a huge competitor against PS5. It sucks. We need that. We want to see competition. And we're not having it right now. In this generation of consoles, it's very one-sided towards Sony, and that sucks. You want to see more competition so they'll actually work to improve more, and I don't think that's happening. So let's see what happens, all right? Let's see what happens next week. All right, it's time for shout-outs. We start today with Ultra Bro, who did a super chat. Any info on the Deus Ex game that got dropped? No, there is no info and there won't be. It's canceled. Therefore, the info might not ever come out unless those game developers like leave the company. Likely they're all under like NDAs about what they can say about a game that was in development. So probably you'll never hear anything about that until years later when maybe these people leave the company and are able to speak publicly when the NDAs all expire, right? Kamek did a $5 super chat and says, hey, Phil, if you could uncancel a game that was canceled, what would you pick? You know, off the top of my head, that's a tough answer because I don't exactly remember all the canceled games out there. But off the top of my head, Silent Hills. I would have loved to see Hideo Kojima's take on a horror game, especially because PT was such a creepy atmosphere game. I would have loved to see it, and it's sad that it got canceled. So, there you go. All right, tips this morning. We got a series of dollar tips. First dollar tip. Just listen to this. It's official. Microsoft Xbox gave up. Their exclusives are coming to Sony PlayStation moving forward. It's not official. This is completely false. Time to throw the Xbox in the trash and give the Wii U company? No. Another dollar tip came in. Didn't hear your reasoning for skipping Suicide Squad. The game is getting rave reviews 10 out of 10s across the board. False. On Metacritic, the game is holding at a 61. It's incredibly poorly reviewed. Most people agree it's the worst subject matter they could have picked for the game. It's boring, it's repetitive, it's grindy. Some of the best parts are funny story elements, but at some points the story is so badly written that it makes you feel dirty about playing the fucking game because it's incredibly disrespectful. So everything you've said is false. Okay. Another dollar tip came in. Capcom put out a survey asking people what sequel they would want the most. Dead Rising, Okami, or Mega Man, which would you like to see? Out of those three, I mean, listen. When I was growing up, Mega Man was a classic franchise that I absolutely loved. I love going back to Mega Man every once in a while. I've played 9, 10, and 11, I think, in the last 15 years as a YouTuber, and I loved it every single time. Although the games are tough, I like Mega Man, all right? But I would like to see Dead Rising come back, but come back to its roots. Dead Rising 3 and 4 were way too much of a departure of what Dead Rising 1 and 2 originally were meant to be, and didn't feel like Dead Rising anymore. So if they had a Dead Rising that kind of rebooted and brought it back to what it was supposed to be, a tough, challenging game that needs multiple runs to fully enjoy, then I would say Dead Rising. But if they're just going to make Dead Rising 5 and it's another kiddie game where you mash buttons and kill thousands of zombies, then don't make it and just make another Mega Man. Okay. And by the way, the reason I'm not putting these on the leaderboard, these are all anonymous, so I'm just adding these up in my head. That's $3. Here's another $1 tip. You promised you would behave for Tekken 8 and you didn't. Huh? You promised you would behave and be professional for Tekken 8 and you didn't. First of all, it should be you weren't, not you didn't. And that's completely false. When did I go on a crazy rant and lose my temper playing Tekken? In fact, it's the opposite. People yesterday said, Phil, even though you're losing in Tekken, you're actually keeping your cool. This is much better than when you were playing Street Fighter 6 and you were losing it. I agree. I think I'm actually covering it much better. Listen, just because I'm criticizing someone and I'm saying, this person is definitely button mashing, you can tell, because they're literally just going, duh, duh, and you can see the attacks are tracking me as I'm on the ground and stuff, and it's like, they're not timing that. You know, and the thing is with Tekken 2, it is a button masher's game. Tekken has always been a button masher's game since Tekken 3. Ever since the release of Eddie Gordo, that was the most infamous character. People didn't know how to play Tekken, and they would literally button mash kicks and get combos, tracking moves, flips. It's bullshit because he was really easy mode to play. And ever since then, there's always been 1 to 2 characters that are real button mashers. They are. And I fought a couple of those yesterday. Just because I call that out doesn't mean I'm being toxic and unprofessional. That's a fact. If you don't like facts, then don't watch streams where people speak facts. Go watch streams where people kiss games' butts all day. You ain't going to find that here on DSPGaming. Okay. So that's $4 in tips, but no names attached to any of those. Okay? Let's see here. I have another $1 tip, and at this point, I'm getting real fed up. I really am. I'm getting really fed up. Because every day, I'm going to make this abundantly clear. Alright? I'm not going to sit here and become like a fucking parent refereeing people on my streams. That's not what I'm here for. I'm here to put out content and chill and enjoy games with all of you. If that's what you're here for, welcome. I hope you're here for happiness and fun and good stuff. I'm seriously not going to sit here and have to referee people being at each other's throats. All right? Oh, this person's doing this and calling me this, and then I got moderated because of this and this and this. And you know what? I don't care anymore. I'm tired of it. Every day, this is not my job to become a fucking dad to the people in the chat. At some point, you got to realize if every single day there's a problem, it's probably because you're part of the problem. Or else there wouldn't be a problem every single day. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't even know what else to say any further to this. Obvious there's problems here, right? Like, if people just came in the chat and behaved and didn't do things that they knew were going to be considered annoying, bothersome to others, risque, there would be no problems, all right? Why is it that I'm not having these problems with so many other people, right? I'm just being honest. Why is it that I'm just not having these problems? And only 1 or 2 people seem to keep having the same problems, right? I don't get it. I just don't get it. And it's not my job to get it either. It's my job to run a stream, do a fun podcast, enjoy games, have fun with you guys, not to police people all fucking day. And I don't want to police people all day. If I did, I'd go be a disciplined dean at a fucking high school or something, and I'd beat people with rulers all day, and I'd send them to detention. That's not my job, all right? That's not what I'm being. My job is to make sure that the content is good and that people are not being abusive to each other in the chat. That's it. That's where my job ends. You understand? If you got personal issues with other people in the chat, ignore them. There's even an ignore command that you can ignore someone in the chat and never see what they said. Now, if you're in the chat every day and you're saying similar kinds of stuff and every day you're getting called out for it and every day people are having problems with you, you should maybe take a hint Right? I mean, what else am I supposed to say here? I can't really even be any nicer than the way that I'm putting it. Okay? Listen, I'm someone who 15 years ago used to do risque commentary on YouTube, right? Now, over the last 15 years, I've grown and matured and changed as a person, and I've realized that that kind of commentary, number one, is just not funny anymore. It's played out, it's boring, it's so immature to the point where it actually makes me cringe. Sometimes I'm watching back my old playthroughs and I'm like, can't believe I said that stuff, right? But then again, I mean, this was a long time ago. I was younger, I was very much more, I was in that teen mindset, correct? I was in a teenager mindset where I felt like there's no filter for what comes out of my mouth. I'll just say whatever, and people wanted that on YouTube. But culture has changed. The world has changed. Businesses have changed. That kind of stuff isn't even allowed on YouTube anymore. Do you understand? If I were to just sit here and say incredibly over-the-top risque stuff about sexualized comments and racial comments and gender comments and all this shit, I'd be banned. And so will you. You're not immune to it either. YouTube is a place that has rules. You understand? And you have to follow the rules. You can't just say, because I feel like being unfiltered, I'm immune to all the rules. You're not. You're not. Everyone has to follow the rules if they want to be here. Me too. So it's either you acknowledge that, you say, okay, I get it, and then you follow them, or you leave. Not come back every day and complain about it. It's one or the other. There's no middle ground here. That's how it is. I hate to say it. This is a situation where it's black and white. Either you have to kind of say, all right, maybe I don't agree with it, but I begrudgingly accept it because I want to be here. I want to be part of this community. I want to be on YouTube, and I have to abide by YouTube's rules, or you leave YouTube. I made the active decision to change. When I became an interactive streamer in 2017, I said, if I'm going to be here all day, every day on a stream, and I see all the writing on the wall and everything around me is changing, I've got to change too. I have to. All right? So I changed, and you would think that everyone would have understood that you also have to be in line with those changes. But I guess not. I guess some people think that they're above the rules. You're not. It's everyone together in this boat. And you can't have one asshole rocking the boat like this, and everyone else is like, what the fuck are you doing? Could you just sit still? No, I want to do this. Well, eventually people are going to say, fuck this, and throw you out of the boat. And that's what's happening. Okay? I don't know what else to say. It's so straightforward, what I'm saying, yet it seems like it's falling on deaf ears. I just... I don't know what else to say. Good Lord, man. It really, like, I don't even know how else I'm supposed to handle this. Okay. Okay. Well, I'm not going to allow my entire stream to be derailed by this. So if this topic continues, I'm just going to ignore it. I don't know what else to say. I can't affect it. I can't help it. I can't fix it. Here's the thing, and this is what I've definitely learned over the years. All you can do in life is you can present the rational argument to someone, and you can try to make them understand, okay? That's all you can do. You can't make people change. You can't. Someone has to have the innate desire to change themselves for the better, right? It doesn't matter how much you try to say this is good for you, this is better for you, until they get that moment of recognition, self-awareness, they say, oh, yeah, probably this is better for me, right? They're never going to change. That's why you have people who have disorders, and they always go back to their addictions because they have to want to change so much that they then force themselves to. You can't make someone change by yelling at them. It's never going to happen. So I can only talk about this as much, and this person can tip as much as they want. It ain't going to help the situation. I can't make them change and abide by rules that everyone else is following. I can't do it. I don't know what else to say. So I'm just not going to waste time on it. I can't. I'm derailing my stream multiple days now talking about this, and it has nothing to do with what we should be talking about on the streams. Okay? All right. I received a $5 tip from Easy Peasy 91. What's up with soft people wanting you to be professional and family friendly when you're playing a fighting game? Anyone ever had a childhood? had any friends that maybe would insult or fight each other. And we know it's fun in games. It's not to be taken seriously. These kids nowadays are so soft. It's a fighting game, for Christ's sakes. Everyone gets mad and should insult each other if they want to. What's the point? This is so dumb. I honestly don't know, Easy Peasy, because as you know, I'm not part of the FGC anymore. I don't follow the FGC. I don't know what's their discussions going on. I don't know what it's like to go to a tournament anymore. I am so out of the loop. It sounds to me what's happened is in the last decade, since money started getting thrown at the FGC for these esports teams and tournaments, that now the FGC has changed. That now essentially they are now everything ultra professional, can't insult someone's gameplay, can't insult nothing. It's like, really? On what planet? I grew up in an era, it was kind of, I'm not kidding you. I used to go to arcades, and if I beat someone, the guy would pick me up and turn me upside down physically and act like he was going to tombstone pile drive me onto the floor of the arcade. There was one guy that got so excited when he played fighting games, he would literally thrust his crotch into the cabinet, moving the cabinet as if he wanted to have sexual relations with it. This is a normal day at the arcade for me when I was a teenager. Okay? Now compare any of that to the stuff that I say online when I play a fighting game. Right? It's like, those weren't even the extreme stories. That was a typical Friday night at the arcades. So it's like, I guess things have definitely changed over time. And it's crazy that, to me, I'm on a stream. I'm doing commentary just for me and my audience. It's not like I'm going out and I'm seeking the person and trying to personally insult them. I'm not on the voice chat of the game saying, hey, motherfucker, you're a piece of shit. I'm not doing that. This is just commentary, venting my frustrations about the game and the gameplay on my own stream. Somehow this is too extreme. And this is meant to be like some crazy insult. It's like, what, are you out of your mind? No. Here's the truth. It's drama queens. Because no one fucking cares about what anyone says on their own stream. Right? No one. Who gives two shits? I'm not going to your house and yelling at your face. I'm fucking saying it on my own stream. It's my business. That's it. It's my venting on my side of the equation. And you're okay to say whatever you want on your side of the equation. The funny part about all this is, I'm very sure that a lot of the times when I play people online in fighting games, they've said shit about me too. But I've never heard one blip of it, nor do I care. Why would I? Say what the fuck you want. Say I'm a loser. Say I'm a piece of shit. Say I'm a human garbage. I don't care. That's your prerogative to say. It's your content. Vent. Go for it. Say I'm a scrub and I mash buttons. I don't care what you say either. Why anyone would get offended by that? I mean, really. If on life you got to be walking on eggshells every moment, you might as well just play games with a zipper on your lips, right? Or duct tape your mouth so God forbid you don't say something. It's like, what is going on? I really don't understand it, quite frankly. I don't. Okay. Let's see here. I know, we're actually, like, running behind today. I got caught up in a million different topics there, right? I received a $25 tip from 1 Minute Man. He says, no spoilers. Maybe check out the Mausoleum before Last Light Inn to get a quest over with. Lots of stuff going on at the Last Light Inn. Now I'm getting completely contradictory information. I was specifically told, don't go into the Mausoleum until you go to Last Light Inn. Because when you go to Last Light Inn, there's a bunch of questing and stuff. And those quests will actually need to be done when you're in the Mausoleum. So don't go to the Mausoleum and then backtrack to Last Light because you're kind of doing it in the wrong order. And now you're specifically telling me the opposite. If anything, here's what I think we're realizing. Baldur's Gate 3 can literally be played however you want, right? I think it was designed that way. I think they made it so that if one person goes to this place first, if the other person goes to this place first, or whatever, then, you know, you could do it that way. I feel like if we walked into that Mausoleum right now and did it, right, we'd be fine. Maybe it'll be more challenging because I didn't do other things that would have leveled me up before. Like, I haven't looked yet, but maybe there's a possibility that, like, we'll hit level 8 if we do other stuff before we go to the Mausoleum, and obviously hitting that level would help in the Mausoleum, correct? But outside of that, like, I feel like I could do it either way and it would be fine, right? So I understand everyone's pulling me in different directions. At this point, we just beat the mortuary. And I think what I want to do, I want to get to that town that's glowing. Like, I feel like that's an area that you're supposed to go to. I've been trying to get to it now for a whole stream. I want to try to do that today. And if it unlocks a ton more quests, I guess so be it. But I feel like that's what I want to do, all right? And I get it because people are giving me different advice, and I understand that, and I appreciate that. But at the same time, like, it doesn't really matter what order I do it, I guess, right? There's no right or wrong way to play this. It's not like, oh, because you did this first. The people warned me. They were like, don't go past the mountain pass because then you'll end up in the Shadowlands, which is Act 2, and then you can't go back to Act 1. You'll fail one of the quests you didn't finish yet. That I appreciate. But as for do this first, do that first, it seems like it's kind of choose whatever you want. I don't think it's that big of a deal, right? Maybe I'm wrong, but I don't know, you know. I was already feeling like the mausoleum is being pushed to be the last thing you do in Act 2. It seems that way, right? It does. To me, it seems like explore everything else first. I mean, even the fact that I guess you're calling it Last Light In. I don't even know that's what it's called because I haven't been there. I'm calling it the Glowing City or whatever it is, right? So that was earlier on in the map. We walked by it because we were teaming up with the villains to sneak into Moonrise Tower. So if we hadn't snuck in with the villains, we might have gone there first, right? So it seems to me like we should do that. Right? So that's what I'm thinking. Okay. Okay. So I'm just going to leave it at this, all right? To Kirk or He Hate Me or whatever name he's being called today, if you want to contribute and talk positively about the content that's going on the stream, you're welcome. If you're going to sit here and you're going to complain about moderators, you're going to complain about you can't say what you want to say in the chat, you're going to complain, you're going to complain, you're going to complain, I'm just going to ignore you. Okay? That's that simple. There's a difference between, I'm not going to derail my whole streams talking about this all day long, every day. We've had the conversation now multiple times. I've had enough. I don't want to sit here every day talking about this. Right? I think you know the deal. You got to abide by the rules like everyone else. All right? Just because you're tipping doesn't mean that I'm going to derail my entire stream around this shit. I'm not. Okay? So again, you want to contribute and talk about the game, be positive, be a part of the community. That's great. You're welcome. But I'm not going to have you come in here and derail the stream 2 days in a row. This is now two podcasts. Right? That's enough. I'm putting my foot down now. I can't be having this every fucking day. Okay? Okay. All right. So I think that's good. Have we covered everything? I feel like we've covered all the topics, right? Yes. Michael says, you're not ignoring him. You're talking. Yeah, because he keeps tipping me. I'm not even kidding. He sent like 3 more dollar tips, and each one is about, I don't like this moderator and this and that. And I'm not going to talk about it. That's what I mean. Like, I'm not going to talk about this shit. It's a waste of my time. Okay? Okay. So, ladies and gentlemen, that's the show for today. I think we've talked about enough. We don't have time for Q&A. We went late, right? We went late with all these discussions. So, I feel like now what we should do is end the show and jump into Baldur's Gate 3. And like I said, probably start heading eastward to whatever this city is, the City of Light, and explore those other areas and go from there, all right? And I thank you all for being here and chilling, all right? I really appreciate that. Some people don't learn. I really appreciate that. It was a good podcast, right? Tomorrow, I'm sure we'll be talking about some progress in Baldur's Gate. We'll be talking about, actually, is it not today that they're going to do a a Sony State of Play specifically about Final Fantasy VII Rebirth during this stream? So maybe we'll have some of that to talk about tomorrow. Although, it's really weird because I'll agree with people. Some people are like, why are they doing a state of play about Final Fantasy VII like 3 weeks before the game comes out? I kind of agree. Like, people are probably already sold on it or not. I don't think that this state of play is going to sell anyone new on it. You know what I mean? Like, either you already were going to get it or not. It's so close to the release. So, all right. Guys, thank you so much. Great stream today. Enjoyed it. Hope you did too. I'll see you all tomorrow for another fun and chill podcast. Be safe until then. Bye-bye.